First time on a sandbar this year. I'm about to go pee in the woods.
Yeah, that's old school river life there. Peeing in the woods. Welcome back, and welcome to mid-May in Iowa. The season is just getting started, and we finally get to spend a night out on the hook and boat with some of our boating friends. Early in the season is pretty quiet around the docks, but things are starting to pick up. And we had a great time this weekend and a lot of fun, so come along. Sausage is cooked, biscuits are going. Now I get ready to start the gravy magic. Not from scratch though, I am gonna cheat because I am gonna use gravy mix, but I will use the butter, onions, etc. Seasonings, the accessory stuff that goes along with it. So I'm just sauteing the onions in butter currently. Might have went a little over the top with the onions though. That shelf up there too that is on that little cover, super handy. Sometimes the boat will rock real heavy to the side, like feels like somebody got on board, or I thought maybe Bonnie was back with some stuff. Or just the wind. We appreciate you all joining us so much. If you could, hit that like button. We would appreciate that too. And that subscribe button. We are still trying to get to that 200 subscribers. We are 4 away. I know there's 4 of you out there. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Bonnie didn't realize that I had started a time lapse of this biscuits and gravy process, so she came in towards the end and ended up actually moving the camera, so I missed the end of the preparations and the final product. But hey, that happens. It's boat life. You don't always realize when the camera's going and when it's not.
Waiting on a train, as always. But we are getting ready to head north. We're gonna go through the bridge and stay on the hook up by, well, it's called ISU. It's an island up there. We're going up to meet some friends and stay out there tonight. So, wish us luck. Just pulling out of port. There's the end of the train. So the bridge will be opening for us here in just a minute. It is still pretty windy out. Not nearly as much as it was, but our friends are already up north and they said that it's a lot calmer up there. How you feeling?
I am feeling very good. I'm feeling like it's pretty choppy out here. I don't really like waiting in this chop, but it's fine. We ain't gonna wait long.
At least we're in a space that we can do a circle or...
Yeah. It's not fun operating these boats at slow speed when it is rough.
Hey guys, calm down. Here we can see.
For a vessel of our size, the bridge typically does not give us a full opening. You can see in this video here, they only partial open, which they've gotten fairly used to doing for us smaller vessels. It got interesting the other day when Mimi came through because they tried to do the same thing, and Mimi is a completely different type of wreck vessel. So they actually ended up having to stop and open the bridge further because Mimi was not going to fit through that opening that they let us, 30 to 40 foot vessels fit through. You're talking about a 130 foot vessel. A little different situation, but we found it funny.
Trickiness in this condition is that the wave will try and take you over there.
Right.
You can't necessarily stay on a straight heading. The wave will take over. We are clear, Fort Madison. Thank you very much. Covering miles on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Pretty windy, but the wind's behind us right now, so it feels nice. We are pushing the speed a little bit more, about 8-ish knots or so, just to try and get ahead of the sea. And even that's probably not fast enough. We could go a little faster and get ahead of the swell, because when you get the swell on your stern, it tends to make the boat want to just go side to side a lot. And when the boat doesn't have autopilot, the captain has to correct for all of that. So you can power through and stop that from happening. We are about 3 miles or so into the trip. I think we got about 14 miles in today. We'll put a graphic in the video. And give you an idea of the distance traveled today. But it has been a rough few days, so it's still pretty choppy out here, but it's just nice to be out of port. All right, we made it to the Dallas City Sandbar. We have spent like what felt like entire years at that sandbar. Like, it's been home for a long time. It's not as good as it used to be because it's gotten muddy. We are about 4 miles in, and the seas are starting to calm down. The river's going to make a bend to the north here shortly, and then the sea conditions will be completely different. We'll show you that. Update. I would say we are about 3-ish, maybe 4 miles out of our anchorage for tonight right now. We are just about to come to the mouth of the Skunk River. That right there, it's hard to see, but it's over there to the side. That would be what we would call grape shoot. It's just a good through shoot. Gets you off the main river, much calmer. A lot of people water ski, tube, stuff like that in there. There's cabins. It's a nice place. Must be swinging over a little bit because I don't really remember being that close to that island before.
Down in there, it's this one, right? There you go.
I do not like loud music anymore.
Sorry.
And she's approaching 50 and she hates loud music.
I do.
Unless she's at a concert.
No, if it's good music
And
or
then they
I'm
can't
not trying to conversate.
We made it. We made it to ISU. There's our next chapter. They're going to be nice and bring their dinghy over and pick us up because, well, we're close to the sand, but it would take a paddleboard or swimming to get over there. Neither one I'm interested in right at this moment.
Oh, I would totally paddle.
I would paddleboard if it was necessary, but since they have the dinghy, we'll just take a dinghy rip. But yeah, it took us like 4 different
4
tries with the anchor before it would catch.
It didn't want to catch. There was a big rock in
There was a rock stuck
and it
between
was
the
about the
forks.
size of a baseball, and I had to pull it up far enough that I stretched out on the pulpit and had to reach down and pull it out and chuck it. So.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was, I knew that it was there. I thought it would fall out once it hit the water, but
it was pretty lodged.
yeah, but it didn't. And then I don't know if it wouldn't allow the tines to dig in or what, but
Because we were just.
yeah, we were just we have arrived. That's us. And there's the beach. We are thankful that we have our next chapter here with our dinghy, so we didn't have to deploy the paddle boards today. This beach looks beautiful. We have actually never had this vessel at this beach, so even though we have had many vessels here in our life, we have camped here, we have caused ridiculousness at this beach before, but not with Hat Trick. I'm trying to get the sun in there. Oh, there we got Paul on the dinghy, going for a dinghy riff. He's going to pick up, I believe it's a couple of their kids over at the dock across the way, so they can come out for the night. This beach tomorrow, it will have boats lining it. And we'll have some friends here too, so that'll be cool. It's nice to be out of port and on the beach. Port life is good, but this is what we bought this boat for, was to live in the middle of nowhere. Got a southbound vessel right there. Sun's starting to set. It's gonna be a beautiful night out here.
Oh my gosh, I got
the whole
four cameras on me.
The whole process got
funny
filmed.
thing
Don't
is,
worry, guys.
like, well, we put up that time lapse
Yeah.
of flipping the boat around.
Yeah.
I knew how to make the
Okay,
camera
it
not
to this
make that
date is our
noise.
worst performing video.
The clicky.
It is that time lapse is?
Ever. Yes, it is. But I put the exact same video.
Here we
up on
have the
TikTok.
sky in her natural
It is our
habitat,
best performing. It has like
It's a
over
wild
4,000
sky.
views now.
cooking her fish on the
Oh,
fire.
no, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, you
It's
gotta
like,
find your Winston.
yeah, I had one last week that I put out, or maybe it's 2 weeks ago. The last one that I put out about the house. And it got double the views of anything else I put out.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how you the
I
random
think
ones?
it's not that great.
Okay, morning update from the hook. It is Sunday, May something. 16th, 17th? 18th. Okay. We are lucky we have good friends and that they are here as well. We got up this morning and I, of course, go right away to the battery monitors to see our state of charge. It was about 23 on one battery, 28% on the other. So instantly I go to the generator to fire it up and get the charger going. I fire it up, everything goes like normal. I started up the heating side of things because it was chilly this morning, so I cranked on the heat. Everything works fine. I go to the other side of the panel that controls all the 110 systems, including the charging of the batteries. Nothing. I click on the breaker and I have no power to that side of the panel for some reason, even though we were just using it before we went to bed the very same way. So something had changed, I guess, while we were sleeping. So that being the case, we have very low batteries and no charging system to recharge it. Not,
Panic mode.
yeah, so you kind of panic for sure. First thought is we are going back to port so we can get where we need to be safely. And with the engines running, of course, the batteries would have recharged on the way home anyway. We could have, in an emergency situation, fired up the main engines and put some charge back in the batteries. You're just not going to leave your engines running for a couple hours to get them full. That's a ridiculous amount of fuel to waste for charging batteries. So Paul yells over from the sandbar and says he will come take a look at it. I said, okay. And he did, took the covers off the generator, found a fuse that appeared to be not functioning properly, so changed it, was working fine. It did not fix our problem though. Sorry, it's getting windy out and it looked like we were starting to drag. So it didn't fix the problem. One side of the panel was still dead. So he pulled the cover for all the wiring off, immediately saw burnt wires, and wires that literally were burnt to the point where they were not connected anymore. So I'm sure that's why we had lost connection. How long those wires had been like that, or if it was a loose connection that got hot, we don't really know. But chopped that wiring out, put in some new wiring, connectors, etc. His electrical meter was the savior. I did have one on board, but I didn't realize, I guess over the winter or whatever, the battery was dead inside of it, so it wouldn't come on. I couldn't use it. He had everything we needed, got it put back together, fired up the generator, and here we sit, because the system is back working. So, again, yes, thank you, Lawson's. Our next chapter, we've said it forever that just having friends around that are familiar with issues and have the ability to fix it on the fly, they're priceless. You can't put a price on that. So yes, thank you, Paul. That's our morning update. Bonnie is cooking breakfast now, and Winston is getting settled. We're about to clean up the sand mess from yesterday, because that was the first time we've really had Winston and the boat on the sand, so now we have sand in the boat. But we're gonna get on with our day. We'll see what this crazy wind is doing. It was not supposed to be windy today, but it seems like it's getting windier all the time. So we'll see what happens, and we'll check back in.
Underway again. Taking it slow back down south because the bridge is closed for maintenance. It'll open for us at 2 this afternoon. So we just have to kind of hang out, go slow, take it easy.
Yeah, we're just kind of pacing ourselves to get back down there. We know there's barges everywhere waiting to get through too.
They're stacked up. There's one back there.
Yeah, we're just trying to get ourselves in a good line spot.
But it's a gorgeous day.
It is. Very nice.
Happy Sunday fun day.
Okay, we are about 12, 13 miles into the trip. The bridge is right there. We are waiting for it to open, because apparently they are doing maintenance today, and there's only scheduled openings. So 9 o'clock this morning, which we were not going to be here for, 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then 6 o'clock this afternoon we hear. We didn't know about the 6 o'clock, or we might not have been so concerned about making sure we hit the 2 o'clock, but we're here. It's about a half hour. We're just floating at this point, waiting for everything to happen. Our next chapter is right over here. They're going to be waiting for the same thing, and Robert Grant is coming up behind us. He'll be waiting for the same thing as well. Bonnie is blowing bubbles. We have to have bubbles while we wait for the, what do you call them, klaxons?
Yeah.
To sound, and once we hear them, we will know we are headed through. Once we get through, we have some friends we believe are going to meet us. They may even meet us before we get through, but we have to catch this opening. But then it's warming up, it's getting calm. There's getting quite a few boats out here actually now, so we may actually hang out down below the bridge.
I'd be so scared of puncturing the hole.
Yeah.
It could happen. And when you're jumping logs, you're going to get splintering and everything else that happens that can fly in your face or whatever too.
If he comes over here, the two girls should go for a ride. I has a picture of the two girls on the boat right now. She'll love it.
Here comes our friend in the airboat. This is loud.
That looks like you got a good one.
Oh, cool.
You know Jesse?
Oh, yeah.
sometimes that's river life or even yachting life. Different things happen. All fun.
A special thank you to the Lawsons and our next chapter, and for our dear friends Desi and Jared. Thanks for watching, everybody, and please join us for our next episode where we have Memorial Day weekend with our friends on ISU. Love y'all.